Hello, so today we're going to have a look at an Israeli PAPR system, the civilian one. So this was bought for me, but I'm sending it back to him sort of later on by a guy called Clothing Lotus, who watches the streams regularly and donates. A big thank you to him. So basically this way I could get some reviews done of it, and then, you know, he gets it anyway. So it comes with a hose, we'll put that on in a minute. I think this is the only hose I've ever used that's 40mm NATO. Sort of a bout type clip, doubt we'll use that. The actual interesting bit, the unit itself, and also a manual. So I suppose that's its technical name, but of course I have no hope in hell of reading that. Protective hood with blower manual. Well, the actual hood isn't in here, but the blower unit itself is. So let's have a look at the blower itself. So it seems pretty straightforward. You pull this bit out the back, and then it lets you push the button on. Pulls air through there, blows it out there. Right. So let's see if you can get most filters on here, not just the Israeli filters, because that will be a problem if you are only limited to using Israeli filters on it. And it seems like that's gone on alright. So let's turn that on. Yeah. Excellent. Right, so let's turn that off again. Now let's attach the hose. So that's in a bag like this. Now the point of these systems, those of you that don't know, is basically it's a lot easier if there's a machine essentially doing the breathing for you through the filter resistance. This also means that what you're wearing becomes a positive pressure respirator, not really a negative pressure respirator. And the reason that's good in simple terms is basically because it's a lot easier to breathe, and that the pressure inside the mask is greater than outside the mask. So if there's a little split in it, or, you know, a little gap, gas can't get in or whatever, because the air inside is greater pressure than the air outside. Hopefully that makes sense how I'm explaining it, because as I said, this is just kind of the first time I've ever played around with proper PAPR. So here we go, put this on here. So then you've got this sort of clip here, I guess, that you could put on your trousers or your belt. And then let's attach this to the Canadian C4 to begin with. Let's test it on this because it's not designed for this mask at all, but the C4 is a cool mask. So, here we go. So, that's what it looks like when you've got it assembled with a mask. Obviously quite a bright, you know, green colour, I guess, to make it look nice to civilians and children, because I think that's who it's really intended for, and old people. So let's get this mask on. Now I can still manually breathe through this if I wanted to. It's just more resistance because it's going through more bits, but let's flick it on. Is that? Yeah, I can feel the air coming out. So yeah, there we go, that's working. So basically what it's doing now is air's just flowing through the mask and out the exhale valve, and if I breathe, there's essentially no breathing resistance because it's doing it for me. So as I said, you probably want this on the belt and things. So Israel tends to use these when they have these kind of inflatable civilian hood things, like it was in the manual. Okay, so they kind of use them with these sort of things, and the idea is that I get to the pictures where it's actually connected to the thing. It's basically like an escape hood thing, but because it's positive pressure, it does up for you on its own. So yeah, this does seem pretty good. Obviously I can test it out with more masks on different videos, but I think people are just interested in it to begin with here. So there you go. Pretty simple thing. Pulls air through a filter attached to the unit, sends it up the hose. Let's flick it off. Yeah, all in all quite simple. Not sure what battery it uses yet. I assume that's the battery replacement bit. So a bit later on I'll open that up and check what the battery is, because you'd hope getting one of these, it's actually a normal civilian battery, not some sort of weird military one that's really hard to get hold of. But there you go. So thank you, Marcus, for sending this, Clothing Lotus, and you'll be getting it as soon as you give me the details of where you want it sent, whenabouts you want it, as said before. But yeah, thank you very much. It's certainly interesting to play about with one of these, and it does seem quite good. I mean, I can definitely understand why these are made for civilians, because it's takes a lot of the scary stuff, I guess, away from using a gas mask for them. But yeah, and the nice thing with this, of course, is you can still breathe through it even when it's turned off. So if it runs out of battery, you don't stop breathing. It just, the gas mask works in a normal way and there's more breathing resistance. But yeah, so essentially it's, you know, filter screws in, attaches to the blower unit, and then air comes out the hose. Pretty straightforward, but works well. Not too bulky or heavy. It is still bulky, but, you know, compared to some PAPR units I've seen, it's not that bad at all.